I used to believe loyalty mattered more than paperwork. That if you loved someone, trusted them, shared blood and history, then signatures and fine print didn't really matter. My father used to say, family is the only contract that counts. I carried that sentence like a shield. Maybe that's why I never asked to see the lease. Maybe that's why I never questioned why my name slowly disappeared from everything that mattered. This place is still home, I told myself every morning as I walked down the cracked hallway. The building used to belong to my father. 4 floors, aging brick, a little rough around the edges, but solid. He built it from nothing. When he died, Ethan told me, I'll handle the legal stuff. You focus on healing. I believed him without hesitation. He was my older brother. He had always been the responsible one. You don't need to worry, Ethan said once, clapping my shoulder. I've got you. So I stayed. Same unit. Same view. Different feeling. Your sink's leaking again, I told Mr. Lawson one morning. He didn't look up from his clipboard. I'll put in a request. You said that last month. He sighed. We've got priorities. I live here, I said. He finally looked at me then, polite but distant. You're on a month-to-month, right? That word, month-to-month, followed me upstairs like an echo. At night, Maya would sit on the edge of my bed, legs crossed, phone forgotten in her hand. Why do they treat you like this? She asked. It's nothing, I said. Old building. Tight budget. You say that every time. I laughed it off. You're overthinking it. I don't think I am, she said softly. You don't sound like you belong here anymore. I didn't answer. Belonging felt like a dangerous topic. Small things piled up. Maintenance requests vanished. Notices appeared on my door that never used to. Reminder emails written in cold language. Once, a contractor asked, Are you the tenant or just watching the place? I live here, I said, sharper than I meant to. He shrugged. Just asking. Ethan brushed it all aside when I mentioned it. Buildings change, he said over coffee. You're reading too much into it. I just feel like I'm being pushed, I said. He smiled like I was a child. You're safe. Relax. Maya wasn't convinced. Ask for the lease, she said one night. I don't need it. Why not? Because it's my brother. That's not an answer, she said. I kissed her forehead to end the conversation. Deep down, something twisted, but I ignored it. Trust was easier than doubt. The night it broke, I wasn't meant to hear it. Ethan was in the lobby with 2 investors. I stopped when I heard my name. Yeah, 1 unit's occupied, Ethan said casually. Just a tenant. Temporary. I stepped back, heart pounding. Family, one of them asked. Ethan laughed. Not on paper. The words hit harder than any shout ever could. Just a tenant. I stood there, staring at the wall, feeling something cold settle in my chest. The building didn't feel like home anymore. It felt borrowed. And for the first time, I wondered what else had been taken without me noticing. The eviction notice came folded too neatly, like it was proud of itself. Hey, Mr. Lawson said when I opened the door. Just doing my job. I stared at the envelope in his hand. What job is that? Delivering notices. Notices for who? For you. He cleared his throat and avoided my eyes. You've got 30 days. 30 days for what? He hesitated, then said it anyway. To vacate the unit. I laughed, because the alternative was screaming. That's not funny. He shifted his weight. It's not a joke. I took the envelope. My name was typed cleanly at the top. No spelling mistakes. No confusion. Just me. This has to be a mistake, I said. You can call the office, he replied quickly. They'll explain. They? Management. I closed the door before he could say anything else. My hands shook as I opened the paper. Legal words blurred together, but one sentence stood out like a knife. Lease termination due to restructuring. Signed by Ethan's company. No, I whispered. No, no, no. I called Ethan immediately. What's up, he answered, casual. Why did I get an eviction notice? Silence. Then a sigh. I was going to tell you. Tell me what? That it's time for you to move on. Move on from what? I snapped. This is my home. It's a unit, he said. And it's needed. Needed by who? By the business. I'm your brother. And this is business, he replied calmly. You should have planned better. I felt my throat tighten. Planned for what? Being kicked out? You've been comfortable too long, he said. This might be good for you. I hung up. Maya found me sitting on the floor, paper crumpled in my fist. What happened? She asked. They're evicting me. Her face drained. Who is they? I looked at her. Ethan. She sat down hard. Say that again. He says it's business. She grabbed the notice and read it fast. This is insane. I know. Did you sign anything? No. Did you ever see the lease? No. She looked up slowly. That's not okay. I trusted him. She squeezed my hand. That's not a crime. I tried to stay calm, but panic crept in. Where am I supposed to go? We'll figure it out, she said, but her voice cracked. That night, I packed boxes I never thought I'd touch. Every object felt heavier. My father's old mug. A photo frame. The dent in the wall from when I was a kid. Mr. Lawson passed by the open door. You need help, he asked. Why didn't you say anything? I demanded. He swallowed. I don't get paid to question orders. So you just follow them? He nodded. That's how it works. I wanted to argue, but I was tired of fighting people who didn't care. Ethan didn't come by. He didn't call again. The silence was louder than any insult. On my last night, I stood in the empty room. Maya hugged me from behind. This isn't over, she said. It feels like it is, I replied. No, she said firmly. This is the part where you stop trusting words and start looking at facts. I nodded, even though I didn't believe it yet. As I locked the door, I realized something painful. Losing the apartment hurt. But realizing how easily I'd been erased hurt more. I slept in my car the first night because I told myself it was temporary. It's just for a few days, I muttered, adjusting the seat. I've handled worse. The lie sounded weak even to me. In the morning, I parked behind the gym and went inside like nothing was wrong. The front desk girl smiled. Morning. Morning, I said, trying to sound normal. In the locker room, I stared at my reflection. Same face. Same eyes. Different life. Maya called while I was tying my shoes. Where did you sleep? At a friend's, I said quickly. She paused. Which friend? I swallowed. Does it matter? Yes, she said. It matters to me. I'm fine, I snapped. Stop worrying. Silence followed. Then, softly, don't shut me out. I hung up without answering. By night 2, the car smelled like cold food and regret. I reclined the seat and stared at the ceiling. You're not homeless, I told myself. You're just between places. The words didn't help. On the third day, I wandered into a small cafe to kill time. The sign outside said Rosa's Corner. Inside smelled like burnt coffee and something sweet. You look lost, a voice said. I looked up. An older woman stood behind the counter, arms crossed, eyes sharp but kind. Just tired, I said. Aren't we all? She replied. Sit. I'll bring coffee. I didn't order. You did with your face. I sat. She slid the mug toward me. Name? I stopped. Just call me whatever. She smiled. Then I'll call you Honest. I laughed for the first time in days. I came back the next night. Then the next. You live nearby? Rosa asked. Used to, I said. She nodded like she understood everything without details. One night, I stayed until closing. She wiped the counter slowly. You waiting for someone? She asked. No, I admitted. I just don't like leaving. Why? Because once I do, there's nowhere to go. She studied me. People who rush you out usually don't want you looking too closely. I frowned. What do you mean? Means if someone's pushing you, ask what they're hiding. Her words stuck. I sat in my car later, staring at the eviction notice folded in my pocket. For days, I'd avoided it like it could bite me. Enough, I whispered. I pulled it out and read every line. Dates. Names. Signatures. Ethan's name was everywhere. You planned this, I said aloud. Maya texted. Where are you? I hesitated, then typed back. Can we talk? She replied instantly. Yes. Where? At the cafe, she looked at me carefully. You look thinner. I've been busy. With what? With pretending I'm okay. She reached across the table. You don't have to. I know, I said. I just don't know how to be anything else right now. She squeezed my hand. Then let me sit with you while you figure it out. I nodded, throat tight. Later that night, alone again, I opened my father's old folder. Papers I'd ignored for years. I should have looked sooner, I whispered. Trust had kept me blind. Pride had kept me quiet. I leaned back in the driver's seat, staring at the dark windshield. I don't know how deep this goes, I said. But I'm done running. For the first time since the eviction, the fear shifted. It didn't disappear. It changed shape. It became focus. Daniel didn't recognize me at first. Yes, he said, hand on the door, eyes cautious. It's me, I said. My father's son. His face changed. You shouldn't be here. That's funny, I replied. I've been hearing that a lot. He stepped aside slowly. Come in. His office smelled like dust and old paper. I sat across from him, hands locked together. I need the files, I said. All of them. He shook his head. Your brother handled everything. That's why I'm here. Silence stretched. You helped him, I said quietly. Daniel exhaled. I warned him. About what? About doing it clean. My chest tightened. Doing what? He stood, walked to a cabinet, and pulled out a thin folder. Your father's second will. There was another one? I asked. Yes. My voice dropped. Why didn't I know? Because it wasn't filed, he said. It was delayed. By who? He didn't answer. He slid the folder toward me. I opened it. My name stared back at me. Co-owner until age 30. This is real, I said. It is. So how did I lose everything? Daniel leaned against the desk. Your brother filed an emergency transfer after the funeral. That wasn't allowed. No, he admitted. It wasn't. I felt sick. And you let him. I told myself it wasn't my place, he said. I was wrong. I looked up. You were paid. He flinched. Yes. I stood. How long? Years. I laughed, short and sharp. He didn't just evict me. He erased me. Daniel lowered his head. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't give me my life back. What do you want? He asked. The truth, I said. And copies. He nodded. I'll help you now. Why? Because I can't sleep anymore. I left with the folder under my arm, heart pounding. That night, Maya sat beside me as I spread the papers out. This changes everything, she whispered. He planned it, I said. Every step. What are you going to do? I stared at Ethan's signature. Nothing. Yet. She looked at me. That scares me. It should, I said. It scares me too. I called Ethan the next day. Hey, he said. You okay? Yeah, I replied. Just wanted to thank you. For what? For taking care of things. He laughed. Of course. After the call, my hands shook, but my voice hadn't. At the cafe, Rosa poured coffee and watched me quietly. You look different, she said. I stopped guessing, I replied. She nodded. That'll do it. I spent days reading everything. Dates lined up too perfectly. Transfers filed early. Witnesses missing. This wasn't panic, I said aloud. This was preparation. Lena emailed me that night. I shouldn't say this, she wrote. But things aren't right. I replied once. Tell me when you're ready. When I lay down in my car, folder pressed to my chest, anger burned steady instead of wild. I trusted you, I whispered. Now I see you. I didn't want revenge. I wanted balance. And for the first time, I knew exactly where to start. I moved back into the building quietly, like someone who knew their place. Mr. Lawson handed me the keys without looking up. Short-term lease, he said. 3 months. Got it, I replied. I won't be any trouble. That's best, he muttered. I took the smaller unit on the 3rd floor. It smelled like fresh paint and low expectations. I dropped my bag and sat on the bare floor. Temporary, I said aloud. Just like you wanted. Ethan called that evening. Heard you moved back, he said. You sure that's smart? I need stability, I replied. Figured I'd keep things simple. He chuckled. You always were practical. I bit my tongue. Learned it from you. Listen, he added, lowering his voice, don't stir anything up. This phase will pass. I'm not stirring, I said. I'm adjusting. After the call, my hands shook, but my face stayed calm. I kept my head down. Paid rent early. Fixed small things myself. Smiled when spoken to. Listened more than I talked. In the hallway, 2 tenants whispered as I passed. That's him, one said. The brother, the other asked. Yeah. Guess he's back at the bottom. I didn't turn around. At the office, I saw Lena for the first time since everything fell apart. She looked exhausted, eyes ringed dark. You okay? I asked casually. She hesitated. Busy. You don't look it. She forced a smile. Neither do you. Over the next week, we talked more. Small things. Complaints about spreadsheets. Late hours. Coffee that tasted like cardboard. One night, the printer jammed while we were alone. Of course, she muttered. I crouched beside her. Here. She watched me fix it. You're different than he said. Who? Ethan, she replied. He said you were unreliable. I met her eyes. Do I seem unreliable? She didn't answer. Maya noticed the change in me too. You're quieter, she said over dinner. But sharper. I'm learning, I replied. What? When to speak. She studied me. And when will that be? Soon, I said. Just not yet. Rosa poured me coffee that night and raised an eyebrow. You're walking straighter. I stopped apologizing in my head, I told her. That helps, she said. What's your plan? I don't have one, I lied. Back in my unit, I spread the papers across the floor again. Cross-checked dates. Highlighted names. Ethan's shortcuts were sloppy once you knew where to look. This is all you, I whispered. You just didn't think I'd notice. An email popped up from Lena. Can we talk off the record? I stared at the screen, then typed back. Yes. We met at the cafe. I don't want trouble, she said quickly. I don't want lies, I replied. She slid her phone across the table. Then read. Emails. Transfers. Conversations that confirmed everything. This could ruin him, she whispered. He already ruined me, I said. She nodded slowly. I thought you should know. As I walked back upstairs later, keys heavy in my pocket, I felt something shift. I was still a tenant. But I wasn't powerless anymore. The papers stopped feeling heavy once the numbers started making sense. Tell me this again, I said, sliding the folder toward Daniel. Slow. He adjusted his glasses. He filed early transfers, hid them under emergency clauses, and backdated approvals. So it wasn't just unethical, I said. It was illegal. Yes. I leaned back. Then we move. Maya watched me pace the room. Are you sure? No, I said. But I'm done hesitating. Daniel lowered his voice. Once we file, there's no quiet way back. I don't want quiet, I replied. I want clean. The motion went in 2 days later. No warning. No courtesy call. I kept paying rent. Kept smiling in hallways. Let Ethan believe I was tired and grateful. He stopped by the office that week. You're settling in, he said. Good. Trying, I replied. See, he smiled. This worked out. I nodded. For now. After he left, Lena texted me. He's nervous. I typed back. Good. At the cafe, Maya stared at me over her cup. You're calm. That scares me. I'm focused, I said. There's a difference. And if he begs? I won't answer. And if he loses everything? I met her eyes. He chose that risk for me. The court notice landed like a silent bomb. Ethan called within an hour. What did you do? He demanded. I asked for the truth, I said. You blindsided me. You erased me, I replied. This will destroy the company, he snapped. You should have thought of that, I said calmly. You told me to plan better. Silence filled the line. Was any of it real? I asked. Did you ever see me as family? He hung up. Mr. Lawson avoided me after that. So did most of the staff. Fear spreads fast when power shifts. Lena met me in the stairwell. He's losing investors. I know. He's blaming you. I expected that. She hesitated. Do you feel bad? I considered it. I feel clear. The hearing came fast. Too fast for him to spin. Daniel whispered, "This is where it tips." I watched Ethan across the room. His suit looked expensive. His eyes looked empty. When the judge spoke, I didn't smile. I didn't celebrate. I just listened. Outside, Maya squeezed my hand. It's happening. I exhaled slowly. So am I. Ethan stood alone near the steps. Help me, he said quietly. I shook my head. I already tried. As I walked away, something strange settled in my chest. Not victory. Relief. Because for the first time, the numbers told the same story my heart already knew. The locks changed on a Tuesday morning, quietly, without ceremony. I stood in the lobby as a locksmith tested each door, clipboard tucked under his arm. No announcements. No crowd. Just the soft click of metal deciding who belonged and who didn't. Mr. Lawson hovered nearby, sweating. Everything checks out, he said. New authorization list. I nodded. Thank you. He swallowed. I didn't know. You did, I replied. You just didn't ask. Ethan arrived late, eyes sharp, smile forced. What's going on? He asked. I held up the folder. Ownership transfer. Finalized. That's not funny, he said. It's not a joke, I replied. He stepped closer. You can't do this without telling me. I did, I said. In court. His face tightened. This is my building. It was our father's, I said. Then it was ours. Then you took it. You wouldn't have handled it, he snapped. You didn't let me try. The locksmith cleared his throat. Last key, he said, handing it to me. I took it. Heavy. Cold. Ethan stared at it like it was a weapon. You think this makes you better? No, I said. It makes me honest. He laughed bitterly. You always needed someone to lead you. I needed a brother, I replied. Mr. Lawson backed away, suddenly busy with nothing. We moved upstairs. Lawyers signed. Papers stamped. Silence filled the room between words. Ethan slammed his hand on the table. I did this for the family. You did it for control, I said. You didn't protect me. You replaced me. His voice broke. I carried everything. You dropped me, I replied. He sank into a chair, head in his hands. What do you want? I considered it. Nothing from you. That's worse, he whispered. When it was over, the building felt different. Not lighter. Just clearer. I walked through the halls slowly. Tenants watched from doorways. Morning, one said, unsure. Morning, I replied. Maya waited by the window. Is it done? Yes. She searched my face. How do you feel? I thought about it. Tired. Steady. Ethan stood alone in the office doorway. Say something, he said. I already did, I replied. You just didn't listen. He nodded once, eyes hollow. As I locked the door behind me, the sound echoed longer than it should have. power didn't feel like winning. It felt like responsibility. And for the first time, I was ready to carry it. Ethan showed up at my office after sunset, when the building had gone quiet. I didn't know where else to go, he said. I didn't invite him in. You knew where I was every day for years. He nodded slowly. I didn't think you'd ever stop waiting for me. That's the problem, I said. I did. He stepped inside anyway and closed the door behind him. The room felt smaller with him in it. They froze my accounts, he said. Investors won't answer my calls. I leaned against the desk. That happens. You don't understand, he said. This isn't just money. This is everything I built. I looked at him. You built it on my back. He flinched. I thought I was protecting you. No, I replied. You were protecting yourself. He ran a hand through his hair. I carried responsibility you never wanted. You never asked, I said. You decided. Silence stretched between us. I need help, he said finally. Just until I get back on my feet. I shook my head. No. His eyes widened. You'd really let me fall? I fell, I said. You watched. That's different. It's exactly the same. He sank into the chair across from me. I'm your brother. I exhaled slowly. You used that word like a tool. Maya appeared in the doorway, having heard enough. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. Ethan looked at her, then back at me. So that's it? That's it, I said. He laughed weakly. You always needed closure. I already got it. He stood, shoulders slumped. I'm sorry. I studied his face, searching for something familiar. I believe you. Hope flickered in his eyes. Then. But belief doesn't erase damage, I continued. And forgiveness doesn't mean access. His mouth opened, then closed. I won't ruin you, I said. I won't chase you. I won't hurt you more than life already will. He nodded slowly. You're different. I had to be. He paused at the door. Do you hate me? I considered the question carefully. No. I'm just done needing you. He left without another word. Maya stepped closer. That couldn't have been easy. It wasn't, I said. But it was necessary. She rested her head on my shoulder. I'm proud of you. I closed my eyes. I didn't win. You didn't lose either, she replied. Later, alone, I walked through the empty halls. The building hummed softly, alive in a way it hadn't before. I unlocked the old unit, the one I grew up in. Dust floated in the air. Memories pressed in, sharp and gentle at the same time. I'm not coming back, I whispered. But I remember. I locked the door again, gently. As I turned off the lights and stepped outside, the night air felt clean. I hadn't taken revenge. I had taken myself back. And that was enough. I unlocked the office one last time before sunrise. The building was quiet, the kind of quiet that didn't feel empty anymore. It felt settled. You're early, Rosa said when I stopped by the cafe downstairs. I couldn't sleep, I replied. She poured coffee without asking. Good or bad reason? Good, I said. I think. She smiled. That's how change sounds. Tenants started greeting me by name now. Morning, one said. Morning, I answered. No hesitation. No sideways looks. Mr. Lawson stood stiffly near the elevator. Sir. I raised a hand. You don't need to explain. He nodded, relief flooding his face. Thank you. I expect honesty, I added. That's all. He swallowed. You'll get it. I spent the day walking through units, listening more than talking. The heat never worked right, a woman told me. We'll fix it, I said. You always say that, she replied. I'm not them, I said simply. She studied me, then nodded. Lena stopped by in the afternoon. I accepted the promotion. You earned it, I said. She hesitated. Do you ever regret it? I leaned back. I regret trusting silence. She smiled faintly. I won't forget that. Maya met me on the roof at sunset. You did all this, she said quietly. We did, I corrected. She laughed. You finally stopped shrinking. I didn't know I was, I admitted. She took my hand. You survived. Below us, the building glowed softly, alive. Later, I stood in front of the old unit again. The door was unlocked, waiting. I stepped inside. Dust floated. The air smelled like memory. I'm not keeping this, I said aloud. I walked through each room slowly, touching nothing. Letting it go. When I locked the door for the last time, it felt final in a peaceful way. Outside, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I didn't answer. I walked past the lobby, keys steady in my pocket, heart steady in my chest. I wasn't an avenger. I wasn't a victim. I was an owner. Not just of a building. Of my life. And that was the only title I needed.